What's up, guys? We're back with episode 2 of the 1UZ Legacy build. I've been wiring the car for the last 2 weeks or so since I came out with the last video. And since I've got the mass majority of it done at this point, figured I'll do a couple little clips, show them how I get everything together and show a little bit about the process. So let me show you what I've got done thus far. Everything in the front, accessory-wise, has been completed. We even got a horn. I decided to put some working lights in. I've always wanted to do this. Got 2 on either side, 2 in the back. Hopefully I'll have those hooked up before the end of the video, show you how those work. And if we head inside, we can see I'm finally getting some wires coming in here to the electrical panel, I guess you want to call it. All of the relays are wired except for the ones triggered by the ECU, which would be the fans and the fuel pump. The starter just doesn't have a fuse in it, so I don't want to accidentally bump that. Got the 3 flashers, left signal, right signal, hazard. Those all work. And then if you go down here, running a lot to this main fuse panel below the lighting control. We're getting lots on there as well. What I am currently working on is this little sub panel off to the left that I made for myself. It's got fuel, put a voltage gauge in there because I'm a Sparky and you know I like to keep an eye on the voltage. Could be swapped out for something later on. I actually kept the mirror controller, like I said last time, why not? That should end up working before the end of the day. Just gotta hook up all the wires. The switch here, this is going to be my hazard switch because it got kind of complicated and I essentially had to have this style switch. It's a single throw 2-pole switch, so it keeps those signals isolated until I flip the switch. And this will be hot all the time, so I won't have to have the ignition in order for it to work. Finally, on the end, that is the heater core fan switch. Allows me to control the speed of the fan. Is all these little wires here. Like I said, it's from my little instrument panel. So I will show you guys real quick how I hook up those clips. Let's do it. Alright, so this is basically what it looks like once you get all the crimps on there. All these are for the mirrors, so they're actually splices. And then minus these 2, the rest of these will actually go into the connectors. And those will clip directly in to the sensors, switches, whatever I want. So let's do it. It took a little bit to get everything crimped up. I got the mirrors hooked up as well. So turn that on. Those gauges work, those gauges work. Let's see if the mirrors. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then flashers. Those technically work without the power being on. And then my little fan. And that's a little heater core. I'll probably do some hoses later. Just pointed at the windshield because I won't have windshield wipers, and if anyone's ever driven a car with no wipers, no heater in the rain, it doesn't work. So my goal at this point is I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the working lights wired. I got some dome lights inside the car I want to get done. That one right there, that one right there, and then I've got 2 down here that are going to hang. And then those 2 in the engine bay, they need to be connected as well. So I got to pull the dash back out, finish all those up, and then that completes the body harness, which is a really big step. I'm excited that I've gotten this far. So post that is going to be the engine. So let's do it. Alright, so this is a definite jump in time since I have last videoed and I don't know where my fiance's tripod is that she lets me borrow. So I'm holding the camera. Right now, we are basically at the point where I've pulled the engine again for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have a brash pilot bearing, and did I say brash? Brass pilot bearing, and I didn't soak it in oil, so I had to pull it apart, soak that thing. What else did we also do? Oh yeah, we got the turbo oil drain in the side of the pan. I didn't do that before because I wanted to make sure that the return line was going to flow properly to where it needs to go. No humps, no obstructions, no kinking. That's important. So I put the engine back in just for that as well. Right now, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head to the auto parts store because I need to buy some more exhaust header flange nuts, and because those are a little bit difficult to put on once the engine is in. I'm just trying to be easy, right? So I got to get some of those, and we can slap this puppy back in and start wiring the physical engine, electronics that need to be wired for startup. If I do that and I mount the intake manifold down, fill the thing with fluids, all I need to do is configure the ECU, see how that goes, and I might be able to turn the freaking key on this thing. Take the old daily. We got some goodies. Alrighty, so we got our exhaust nuts. They're not OEM spec, but they're gonna work so I can get this thing started. Right now I've got the turbo kit on the ground, getting ready to slap it on the car. That will be the goal for tonight, get that on tomorrow. Throw the front end on, not throw the dash in because I gotta wire the engine still. Want that out of the way. So we'll wire the engine, slap some new spark plugs in it, tighten down all the AN fittings front to rear, and try to configure the ECU. All right, what's up? It's the next day. We got the turbo kit on, we got the front end on. Everything's been legitly tightened as we go because this is final assembly technically. As you can see, got the front end bolted down. Had a little issue where I bolted the turbo kit first and I forgot this wastegate right here. Kind of has to be out of the way because you got to get to those tube locks for the front end. I had to pull that back off and redo all that, but we got it. Right now, I just started finishing up, putting all these little crimp clamps for all the vacuum lines. Those run inside. Tees off. One goes down to the ECU, one goes to the boost gauge. On a very cool note, earlier today, my injector showed up and the electric power steering column controller that I've been waiting for a long time. And it's pretty sweet. So, I explained earlier, I've got a Prius power steering column in this car. Here's the controller that it comes with. This is the factory one. If you don't buy an aftermarket controller that intercepts this, essentially you'll get like 30% assistance. So there's a company called E-Power Steering, I think. They do a lot of Miata kits, but they sell this little knob which comes up, ties into an actual controller, and then that controller allows you to adjust the resistance up and down. And then if we turn it on, you should hear the relay click. There's the relay. And then it does take a second for it to kind of calibrate. It is certainly much, much easier right off the bat. It's like easy.
Easily spin this thing. Meow, meow.
Essentially now, it's time to bolt all of the accessories, I guess not accessories, but manifold and coolant transfers down. Once I've got everything bolted down where I need it, then I can start wiring. So let's do it. All right, it's about 12:30 in the morning. I've got to this point. So all the running gear, turbo kit, everything, all the AN lines, everything's tightened down. Got the injectors installed. Got all the fuel lines tight. Those are Bosch EV14 850cc injectors. At this point, yeah, I'm definitely done for the night. You can hear it in my voice. But tomorrow, I'm going to get up Saturday, so I'm going to spend all morning just starting the wiring process. And really, the engine is fairly simple compared to what I've done on the rest of the car. So, should be pretty straightforward. I've got my wiring harness diagram over there. Just got to follow that. Should be cake. What is up, guys? It is the next day. Again, midnight. I spent about 10 hours today doing the engine harness, making sure everything was properly hooked up, properly crimped, properly heat shrunk. And this is basically where we're at now. There's no loom on it, and after I run it and everything works and I know that it works, I'll come back and I'll loom everything. But there's a lot of work into this, and yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. So this engine and ECU setup is basically running batched ignition and injection. So that means you just tie the first 4 sets in the firing order to the next 4 sets, and while one is igniting fuel, the other one is doing basically nothing. So 1843, 6572, pull those 4 down, match them up, so you get 16854732, and then the ECU runs in numerical order, so 1 2 3 4. Splice some time all together, and you're essentially good to go. All right, what's up, people? It's the next day. Like I said, I finished the engine harness last night. Right now, this is what we got going on. Yes, that is my desktop computer. I'm using it to flash the ECU and hopefully get this thing started. We've already done a prime. We've got good oil pressure coming up to the turbo, so oil is flowing like it should.
Why is the gamma just spike red?
Is the RPM turning? What's up, guys? So in the last part of the video, you saw there were some issues. I thought that if I changed, I would be able to get the car started, and clearly that's not the case. So there's still some programming parameters in this ECU that I'm not knowledgeable enough to attack and make a change in. So like I said, one of the guys from Speedy EFI, Chris, he's going to come over, help me get a base map on this thing, get it started, maybe even running pretty decent. I actually fixed the hole in the radiator last night with some JB weld. Frankly, I just want to put coolant in this thing. I want to be able to run it for more than 30 seconds at a time, right? Anyhow, so here's where we're sitting at this point. I got the car on the ground, got some of the bumper and front end on, because why not? For video's sake, it's going to look a lot cooler if you can tell what this thing is. So yeah, at this point, she's ready to go, and we're just going to wait for Chris to show up. Until then, I'm going to go pick up some more coolant and top her off. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to make sure the cats don't run away either. Get back inside. What are you doing? Come on. Good boy. Oh.
I was trying to get it in time. I knew it. Yeah, the cam gear snagged the teeth on the cam gear snagged the wire. I was trying to get it.
All right, so we got the timing situation sorted out. I believe these engines they're not dead on. They really could use some adjustable cam gears, but I think it is where it needs to be now. I'm not sure if Chris left a runnable tune on it, but I figured I'm gonna try to start it anyway. He's coming tomorrow, and we're gonna dial it in from there. So I want to see what we get out of this. So let's try it.